It's Wednesday, March the 9th, King of the Mountain State Show. I'm Chase Hill. I'm at the Wolf Boxing Gym tonight in Parkersburg, West Virginia, checking in with a few of the guys. My first guest is going to be Deric Gibson, a name very familiar to our tournament and around the Mountain State as far as boxing goes. Deric, appreciate you being on with me, buddy.
Hey, thank you, Chase. Thank you for having me.
So going back to last year, I mean, you were one fight away from the finals. You were right there. You're the only guy with a win over Gary, who ended up winning the whole thing. Pretty impressive trip through the year last year. But give me a little bit about your opinion about the experience. I know you fought in semi-pro and USA and different stuff. Tell me a little bit about what you thought about our tournament.
Oh, I had fun. The last tournament. It's really good for guys to get experience. So whoever's ready to go pro. And I had some falls and a couple of my fights, but coming back stronger than ever.
Well, I know talking with your coach here recently, he definitely thinks that we're going to see the new improved version of you, which is awesome. Already good anyway. Tell me a little bit about what's been going on there at the gym. I know you guys never really took much time off and you kind of stayed in there. So catch me up to speed. Like, how's things going in the gym now?
Going well. It's going great, actually. We're doing a lot of one-on-one time, getting a lot of things I call breakthroughs, what I need to do, what I need to do more of, putting in a lot of reps. We're doing a lot of cardio, actually more cardio than the last tournament. Yeah, we're doing a lot of different things.
Well, you know, a lot of that stuff Coach was teaching you. You know, you had spent some time with him, but it was maybe one of the first chances you really got to put some of this together in the ring. And, you know, sometimes it's not just a natural feeling. Like the more you do it, the better you get at it. I tell my son all the time, if he wants to be good at shooting foul shots, all he's got to do is go shoot foul shots. But you got to shoot a lot of them, you know? So, no, just tell me a little bit. Are you starting to get more comfortable with the things that Coach is showing you as you're going through the progression?
Yeah, actually, yeah. He's showing me things to work on here and there. So, and then when I work on it, then I try it in the sparring just to see how it goes. And it's coming along great. It's actually coming.
You know, whenever I select these things, I try to find the best guys that I can. Of course, I ask you to get back into it this year. We let the lottery kind of select them. We had Montel Banks drop out of it. I'm not sure if it was because of who he drew or what it was, but he was out. And now Luke Grizzle steps back in. Luke Grizzle, we're familiar with. He's a tough guy, big guy, southpaw, fought Gary well last year. That could very well have been the championship fight this year. And here we go, round one in Madison, April the 16th. It's 5 weeks away. What do you think of that? That's a pretty big matchup right out of the gates, huh?
Oh, I'm excited. We're two big boys about to go to work.
Yeah, and great coaches, great GMs, great skill sets, all that. That's a good one for the fans down in Boone County to really get to see what some heavyweight boxing looks like.
Yeah, sure is.
Deric, thanks for stepping in, man, and talking with me a little bit. I appreciate it. I know you guys got a lot going on there in the gym. It's practice right now. If you can there, let me holler at one of those guys, and we'll go ahead and we'll sit down with them too.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Up next, we've got coming, I believe it's Mitchell Reynolds. Mitchell was in the tournament last year. He was able to fight his way to the Final Four. He's got a great skill set, natural fighter, great coach. He's been with Gary since right after the tournament started last year. Mitchell's one of those guys that brings everything to the table. It's just now getting him some more experience, more time in the ring, and seeing how he can put it all together. Coach, you got Mitchell there for us?
Just about. He's coming right to you. He had to take his headgear and gloves off. He's in sparring with Dustin a little bit, so he's here and he's ready. He's just going to take it. You can walk around with it, do whatever you want, man.
All righty.
Mitchell, it's good to see you. I'm just catching the fans up. You know, you had a good performance last year. You've been pretty dominant through that semi-pro stuff. We wanted you back in. You know, we look for the best of the best. We had you near the top of the list. Right off the bat, you got a pretty tough matchup, but let's go back. Let's talk about last year. Tell me what it was like being a part of the tournament last year.
Oh, it was a great experience. I think I drew one of the toughest paths last year to get to the championship. I had Bobby Fresh in his first round, big guy, big, strong, dropped from heavyweight, really. So gave me everything I want. I think every fight I had was a split decision, whether I won or lost. So I had Bobby Fresh in his first round, won that in a split decision. Went and fought Arthur Brown, who ended up going to the championship, very skilled fighter. And then came back and fought Keenan Williams, who also lost in the semifinals, kind of a third-place fight, I guess. And won that one in a split decision as well. So.
Yeah, a bunch of tough fights with a bunch of good guys. I think I saw everybody get better. Like I definitely saw the potential that you had because you were no longer just fighting and brawling. It was more of skilled boxing, and we start to see you put that together. I was just talking with Deric. That's one of those things you can't just come right out of the gates and start boxing. You got to get comfortable with it. But we saw your growth. You ended up winning the award last year for our entire promotion as the prospect of the year. Now we think this is going to be a big year for you. How you feel going into 2022 with the tournament and everything you're putting together there with Coach Wolf?
That's been awesome because I feel like I progressed a little bit every fight, but I still didn't get to where I wanted to be last year. And I think now with a little bit of downtime without a fight for the last 4 months or 3 months at least, it's been progression has been insane. I feel like I'm night and day compared to last year. I feel like everybody's going to be amazed by the difference I make. And I was always told in school and in football, if somebody tells you you have potential or they tell you you're a prospect, that's should be a kind of a negative thing because that means you're not living up to it. So
yeah, you definitely don't want to hang your hat on that you could be really good. You want to go out there and you want to show that you are really good. I know you've got a future in this thing. Now, one of the more recent things that's happened is Gary Wolf is really starting to attract some big talent there with you. When you get a Deric Gibson, you end up with a guy like Mitchell Reynolds. You get Mitchell and Deric, you get Dustin Echard, you get all these guys that you know around the state that's coming in and out of that place. What's that like, getting so much good talent under one roof?
It's awesome. Right now, consistently, we have training every day, pretty much is me, Deric, Gary's son, Ben, who's a great technician. Dustin's coming in here almost every day, who's a 17, I believe 17-3, correct me if I'm wrong, 17-3 professional whose only losses are to national, almost undefeated guys. So, or national global guys that he's dominated the stages around here. And I'd say he's the best professional fighter around here. He had a couple of years off, but he's going to be back. And then we got Corey Stewart coming in here. He's going to be a great amateur. So he's very skilled. So look for him coming up in the amateur stages too. And then also sparring, we have Zach Randolph coming down. He's a 6-1 professional. And then we have Cody Wilson's been down here a couple of times. And then they bring a bunch of amateurs with them that are giving us great rounds. So right now, we're sparring 1 or 2 times a week, every week. And then we're getting our pad work and we're getting our conditioning in 3 or 4 more times a week. So it's just been awesome this last 4 or 5 months.
So tell me this, I know you're a police officer and your schedule sometimes, is a little difficult to work around as far as getting in the gym. Have you been able to juggle both of those things and been able to get in the gym like you want to?
Yeah. So during last year, my training was a little tougher actually, because I was on afternoon shift, which was 2 to 10. So I'd have to wake up at 10 o'clock, get in the gym, try to also get everything I needed to do done in the day before I went to work. Cause then I went to work and went to bed pretty much. Now I'm working midnight, so I'm working 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., which is a little bit easier because I sleep till about 2, and then I come in here usually in the evenings, and I have time to get everything done. So really, the training's been a little easier for me with the schedule I have now than it was before. So we're getting everything we need to get in.
So you got about 5 weeks. In about 5 weeks, it's going to be April the 6th. In about 5 weeks, it's going to be April the 16th. You're back in the ring, King of the Mountain State, round 1. We're going to, tickets are on sale. They just went on sale. We're getting a lot of hype about it. I think it's going to be a big event. I look forward to seeing the new improved version of you. Not that the old version was bad, but we look to see how much you've built upon it. You got all the tools, you got a great coach, got a great facility. Mitchell, train hard, buddy. Keep yourself healthy, and I'll see you here in about 5 weeks.
All right. Yes, sir. I'll get Dustin on here. Okay.
Dustin Echard's coming up next. Dustin Echard is a professional fighter out of the Parkersburg area there in West Virginia. He's built a record. He's had about 20 fights. Like we said, I think he's about 17-2, 17-3, something like that. He pretty much controlled the light heavyweight division of the professionals in West Virginia for several years. And he's been out of state. He's fought some big fights. And now he's under the roof of the Wolf Boxing Gym. We look forward to seeing what he brings to the table. We're going to sit down with him here in just a minute. As we're interrupting boxing practice a little bit.
Dustin's I think he's finishing up around here. And then. So.
Well, here, you could reach it to Coach. He's going to show me around the gym a little bit.
Hey, Coach. I think I turned it.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. We'll do it right off that. Hey, Coach,
give me a good look there at the facility. I know we've talked about it a lot. You've got about everything under one roof, and now you've got a bunch of horses in there. Show me around a little bit.
Okay. Here, I'm sorry. I had the phone flip because we're trying to spar at the same time. I got Deric and Dustin in here working. We've got some great, heavy bag area. We've got a lot of different stuff here, our dumbbells. Here's a unique thing. We talk about the TV with the camera that's mounted up here. Here's our computer. So this is all set in. And as it sits on the ring, they're recording right now. And then we just run everything. So everything that's ever done in the gym here, whether it's sparring, whether it's the heavy bag work, whether we're over here on the aqua bag, the speed bag, here on the double end bag, everything that we're working on, as we work on it, we film every bit of it. And that way they can go back and look, whether it's sparring or whether it's drills, they can see what their technique's like. Are they using their core? Are they using, are they doing the things that they're trying to learn to do? Proper technique.
It's really a great looking facility. I mean, as well as I do, some of the old school boxing gyms and stuff, we have figured out over time, like there's a little bit more science to it. And when you have things like the screen where you can break down tape and you can look at yourself in the drills and you can see that you're not bringing your hand back, different stuff that you might be coaching these guys up. When they get very few fighters in our area gets the opportunity to really see themselves practice and spar, much less even fight. So I think you got a wonderful setup there. Now that you got the names and the bodies and stuff that we're talking about in there, it's got to be the primetime place as far as the Mountain State goes.
Yeah, and I apologize. I know Mitch was over there. He covered a lot of stuff. He knows what's going on. He's been in here for 6 months now, and he's growing so much. And I know he mentioned it, having the ability to work with Dustin every day. And Zach Randolph has come down, and Cody's come down a few times. We got some good pros that by the time this kid turns pro, he's going to have 3 of the top pros in the state that he has a chance to work with to improve and be ready. So,
Coach, let me ask you this. You came out of the Sam Jones kind of old school boxing gym. I know you and Sam are really close, and Sam's really respected in the fight game. And I've gotten a chance to meet him a few times and actually go against him a few times. He's beat me every time. But what's it like seeing the boxing grow and change with time and technology from the kind of gym that you were in to what you've got now? What's Sam think of it?
Well, I just, as you started to ask that question, Sam just said, "Hey, Gary, you figured this out." He said, "Boy, I tell you, things have changed. The stuff we got in the gym and what you have there, you put a gym together after all your experience of realizing, well, if I had the perfect opportunity, what would I put together?" And he said, "You've got the best equipment, you have the best gym, the best location." And he said, "And then on top of it, you bring in this stuff with the cameras and this and everything that you can sit here and feed these guys this stuff, and they can rewatch it and understand what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong and be able to improve on it." So, he thinks it's great.
Yeah, I imagine for him, it's almost like walking into Back to the Future or something, where they get a little taste of a different time period. But I'm sure being able to still pick his brain, have him around with the talent you've got, the equipment and everything, it's a state of the art, man. It's totally awesome. I'm impressed with it.
It is. We're fortunate. We're happy. And, I'm excited right now. Mitch and Deric have, really worked hard and started to grow and picking up a lot of this stuff. And then now here today, which you're going to get a chance to talk to Dustin here in a couple minutes. But Dustin Echard coming in as a seasoned pro with 21 pro fights and a great record to be able to come in and show these guys. We talk about little things that we can do all the technique and we can improve and do our stuff. But at the end of the day, having someone that understands, hey, I've stepped in front of the big cameras. I've went onto those big venues. I've been in situations that I saw for the first time, and he's able to help these guys understand that. But long before they get to that big stage, and that's what these guys in the ring right now are trying to grow into. That's in your tournament.
Coach, you've been a boxer yourself, a state champion. You've been to Las Vegas boxing gyms. You've been to every type of boxing event you could be at. Give me a little bit what you thought about our tournament last year. We're just 5 weeks away from round 1 this year. I thought last year was a success. It really went somewhat better than what I thought it was going to, but just the environment and preparation with the amateurs and stuff. If you would talk just briefly a little bit about last year's tournament, what you thought of it.
Okay, I've worked with a lot of people, and what I was probably most impressed about, and it may not be, I'm impressed with your organization. Just the way you organize everything and the group of people that you had working with you, that when you got there was no chaos. Everything seemed smooth. Your PR, everything you're doing with the social media, your ability to communicate and get people excited about and have a following is exactly what I had been looking for, and gives us opportunity that when we're in this cave working day in and day out, these guys know that there's something that we're going to get to go to. So we're just trying to join that together. And I thought what you did was perfect. I mean, you got a big following all of a sudden. There's tons of people that's watching that off the internet and off YouTube. And I'm ready for us to go to a whole new level, and I'm ready to help you make the production even better. I'm ready for all the guys that we saw around the state that came, some real good coaches that helped contribute. And I think you're just giving us all an opportunity to put it on the best stage and give these fighters an opportunity to be known and get the right experience.
Well, and you and I have talked a lot about taking this production, the lighting, the sound, the different things that we can now do. You can't put the icing on the cake until you bake the cake, but now that we've done that, we've laid the foundation, we've got a pretty good product out there where people are understanding how it works and everything. We can really now start to build upon that and start to dress it up and take it to the next level. And you and I, some of the stuff that we keep between us that we've been talking about, I think the state's going to see something maybe that they haven't seen, especially the southern part of the state. But this year's tournament should be pretty exciting.
I think so. I'm excited. We're all excited. What I'm going to try to do now, and I apologize, the phone was handed to me. I got to take you around and see the gym a little bit. I'm going to introduce you and let you talk to, which I know you've already talked to before and you know who he is. Dustin just stepped out working with Deric a little bit, and Mitch, and I'm going to give you him the phone and let him talk to you a little bit and let him tell you what he has already started to experience here in just in a 3 to 4 week period, and talk a little bit about that.
Well, thanks, Coach. I'll check back in there with you after we get done talking with Dustin.
And bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to try to figure out. I'm going to have Dustin to show me here. I need to flip this back over so he can see you. I'm not sure how to do it.
Oh, okay.
Right down here somewhere. Top left?
Right here. Same.
Is that it? Here. Which one is it? Oh. Open it back to you.
It's a little circle right.
I was teasing off camera that they were going to have to show you how to work the phone, and then now they're really showing you how to work the phone.
It's not moving.
Yeah.
There's a little circle button up here.
Well,
In the middle.
just
You can be the cameraman. We'll point it at Dustin.
There it is.
There
go.
it is. We got you. Sorry, Chase.
So
Here you go. I'm going to give you Dustin, and you guys can talk now.
So once upon a time in the state of West Virginia, I had just about the whole professional boxing champions. I had it from heavyweight to cruiserweight, middleweight, welterweight. I had about them all, but I didn't have light heavyweight because there was one guy in there that I never could get anybody that wanted to fight him, and it was Dustin Echard.
Yes.
Dustin, thanks for sitting down talking with me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your experience here with the Wolf Boxing Gym. I know it's not been too long of a time period since you've been in there working with Coach Wolf, but tell me a little bit about your first impressions there being in the gym.
Yeah, for the past couple of years, I haven't boxed as much as I'd like to. Life kind of took over, got married, had kids, and full-time job, stuff like that. But Deric and Mitch, as far as in this area, are two of the best that we got. And what Coach Wolf's doing in here right now is taking what they got and sharpening the tool, per se. Iron sharpens iron. So he's taking their athletic ability, their power, what they already have, the raw material, and he's taking his chemistry in there as far as his technique. That's making defense better, offense better, and he's making these guys better. Deric's been in here about a year and a half, and I think Mitchell's been in here for about a year now. So they're making big strides. And as far as the West Virginia amateur level is out there, I mean, they're right there at the top. And I think a lot of the stuff that you're doing now is really helping those guys out, get some extra experience fighting the best in the state before they step up to the pro level. And that's a great thing.
Yeah, and that was something that was kind of missing for you. I mean, you handled it well because you were a physical specimen. You were tall and stronger than everybody and faster than everybody, but you kind of came out of that semi-pro stuff 1 minute rounds. Next thing you know, you're doing 3 minute rounds and kind of jumping in there. You were able to handle it. Some guys have not been able to handle that. Tell me from your experience what it's like those first couple pro fights where you really, maybe was not 100% prepared to be in there for that.
Oh man, like far as the mental game, when you're coming out of Tough Man and, in the professional level, you're really good professionals, man, they had like 100, 200, the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Europeans, they all got like 300 amateur fights. So you kind of think about that a little bit in a way. But when I first started off as a pro, I was boxing with Mike Shepard a lot. He really believed in me. He said, man, you can do this. And that kind of boosted my confidence level in that. And as far as the transition goes, I learned more on the job. My wars were in the gym, and it's just been learning on the job as far as in the pros, especially those first couple fights. The whole time.
Mike Shepard, he used to tell me back, and he still tells me, he's like, there's things physically that Dustin Echard can do that nobody else can do. And he's like, sometimes he does things wrong, but he's so physical that it's okay. He just does it wrong really well. So, yeah. But, so tell me, these past few years you've been out of the ring, looks like you're spending some good time there with Coach, and looks like it's about time to get going again.
Yep. That's what I believe too. I'm investing my time in here. My family's cool with it. So that's the number one priority for me, is that my family's cool with it, because it takes a lot of time from them, and they are. So we're putting the right time in, and we're getting ready for something here coming up. I believe we'll get ready for something on your show.
That's right. That's our big announcement tonight on April the 16th. The only thing missing from our card of being really top to bottom, as solid as I've ever put together, was a real superstar that's got the resume that's been there, and that's you. So Dustin Echard is going to be featured April the 16th down in Madison, West Virginia. We've got a few opponents that we're working through right now to see who you're going to match up with. There's a chance there's an ABA title on there. Okay. Could be some really cool stuff going on that we're going to keep, Coach informed about, but we're excited to have you. This is awesome for me to see it come full circle. All those times we were in the opposite corner, and now all of a sudden here you are. So we look forward to it, man. Just 5 weeks. I guess that's enough time with what you've been doing to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've been in the gym. I've been doing my road work, sharpening up. So I always make sure I'm ready when it comes to fight night. So I'll definitely be ready to put on a show and do my best and try to meet expectations out there.
Now, on this second go around, do you plan on being a light heavyweight, 175 pounds? What are we thinking as far as your weight through this time?
Yeah, light heavy. I mean, I haven't, just my body type the way that it is, I'm 180 right now, so that's nothing to cut 5 pounds if I had to make 175 right now. So I just continue campaigning at 175. I think we'll be a big 175 pounder in that division. I can cause some problems in it.
Dustin, I've always thought the world of you from a distance, been a big fan. I'm glad you're a part of this now. You got a great coach in there. Mike's did a lot of work getting you to this point. Gary's really fine tuning some stuff. You got a bunch of good sparring partners coming in and out of there now. I think the sky's the limit. Hopefully we can get you going here close to home. And then with your record, who knows what's next? You've been on those big stages, and I don't think it'll be very long till you're back on them.
Yeah, that's the plan. So 35 now, so really go hit the gas pedal from here on out to get back on the big stage and do everything that I possibly can before, I got to hang them up one day. It's
awesome, man. Good, maybe a couple years here at the end, finish it out strong and have some good stories to tell. I appreciate you sitting down talking with me. If you get a chance there, let me look at Coach again. I'm going to wrap things up with him. We can't wait to see you here in about 5 weeks down in Boone County.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Coach.
Okay. All right, Chase.
Coach, that's quite the stable of guys you got there. And I know there's 2 or 3 more great ones that's been in and out of there a lot here lately. I haven't seen anything like that. I've been doing West Virginia boxing for 11 years. When you start to mix in those other guys that we've talked about that's been regular, I've never seen a place have that kind of talent.
Well, appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of good guys around, and we've had some good sparring sessions down here with a lot of fighters, and we're just always tickled when we get them, and we help them, they help us, and we just think the more we all work together, the better we're going to get. And we're going to bring you better products in your fight shows.
That's right. And, you and I had talked about where we were going to find some of this next level talent at, and you've got it in there with you now. You're building it, creating it. You're with the Derics and the Mitchells and those guys. But, Dustin Echard is a ringer. I mean, that's a guy that you can, wherever you go, I don't care if it's Philadelphia or where it's at, he's next level talent. Having him in there, as as he goes, those Wolves will have to run with him. And I look forward to seeing Mitchell Reynolds become his protege, see what we can produce.
Absolutely. They're over there right now, and he's taking advice from him right now as we speak. So, yeah, it's good. We're putting it in every day, and we're counting the days. We're ready for April 16th when it gets here.
Again, this is Coach Gary Wolf, former state champion at the Wolf Boxing Gym in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Hey, tell all the guys thanks for taking time out of practice to talk with me, Coach. Always good to sit down with you. I'll check back in here in a couple of weeks as we get closer to the event and get them ready. It's going to be a good one.
As always, thanks to you, Chase. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.